So, Geraldo, how's it going, buddy? Good to see you.
Pretty good. How are you?
So, the first thing I want to ask you, I noticed you got a new look going on. So, is it true what they say? Do blondes have more fun?
Um, it's all right. I mean, it's only as fun as it can get, like staying at home
Yeah.
during the quarantine. But it's cool.
So, what did you have some free time on your hands and just decide to do your hair?
Yeah, I think it was like at 12 o'clock at night. Me and my partner, we were just like, do you want to color your hair? Like, I don't even know where our sleep schedules were. So
Yeah.
we were just like, yeah, sure. He went like all over blonde, and I was like, oh yeah, let's just stick in some highlights in there.
Looks good, buddy. Look good. Now, did you get a chance to watch the show on TV on the big screen?
I didn't actually. I was busy all this weekend. I've been doing like some like color drop-offs for my
Sure.
clients.
No worries.
But yeah, I didn't get to actually.
Now it's on, CNBC on Saturdays, and that's over 100 million households that it's broadcast in.
Wait,
Yes,
100
it
million?
100 million, over 100 million households. So that means that, this is a legit show. It's also in all the airports. When you go, you can watch it at 24-hour Fitness. They have it there. They carry CNBC there. So
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
and it's aired twice a month. So you're basically getting some exposure, buddy. I know you didn't realize it but when you see it on the big screen, you'll go, oh my gosh, this is like the real deal. So it's been going on. This is the third episode. We have 13 episodes. So you're one of the originals, which thank you very much for being there. Really appreciate it. And I just wanted to ask you some questions about your experience there. By the way, Geraldo, when you have a chance, go to www.hdpchallenge.com and you can watch all the episodes, okay? And yours will come up this month after it plays for the second time, and you can watch it. You can have a watch party in quarantine, right?
Okay, yeah. I mean, I definitely have time. No doubt about that.
Fun.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to go over, we were interviewing everybody as a post interview. I wanted to ask you a few questions. Being that you're one of the originals that came on, this is the first season of the show. Now, of course, everybody wants to be on there when we see it on TV and they see how good it is and the book and everything. They're like, oh my gosh, I want to be on this. How do I get this opportunity? And I'm saying, well, now it's a lot harder to get on the show,
Yeah.
because, you had the guts to go on. And I know it's hard because it's so different, right, Geraldo? It was something so different for you. Tell us a little
Yeah.
bit about your experience, just the basics of the overall experience.
I think the overall experience was great. Definitely out of my comfort zone. I think when we're behind the chair, it's just like us and the clients usually. And it's just like we're working on our own crafts. But like being on a TV show, at least for me, you have like these cameras around you. You have
On you,
people
literally,
actually
right?
judging your work right in front of you.
Yeah, they were literally on you. I mean, each of you got your own camera person. I mean, they
Yeah.
were on you. They were like close to your face. And I mean, that must have been weird.
Yeah, I mean, I think most of my life I like to be behind the camera, just behind the camera. So just being like the focal point of something. I was like, yeah, I was a little like worried about it, but I mean, it was fun overall. Something different.
Okay, well, so you did pretty well. I mean, I know that it's really tough as an artist to have other artists judge you. And I know that you didn't necessarily agree with some of the things that the judges had said, because you had mentioned that in the show. You'll see it. We actually capture that part where you said, well, up in the lounge, you said, well, I really didn't necessarily agree with what the judges says. And it is art and it is subjective. We know that, right?
Yeah.
So how do you feel about, I know you haven't watched the show yet. I wish you would have watched the show because you could have really answered this question well. But what were you feeling with the critique? What were you feeling? How did it make you feel?
I think I'm pretty okay with like people judging your work, because I know there's things that I don't like that a lot of other people do like.
Sure.
So that kind of makes me just think like, okay, it's okay if somebody doesn't like my work, or if it's not their preference or their taste. So I think it was okay. I mean, I can respect somebody's opinion as long as it's not coming from a malicious place.
Right, it wasn't.
But,
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, definitely wasn't. So I was like, okay, like it is what it is.
Good. I know you had a theme going in, and that's important. The theme is important. But it seemed to me in a lot of ways that you might have changed your theme midstream, and that might have hurt you in the long run. How do you feel about that?
I think probably I wasn't as prepared for this theme. I had a general idea of like what I wanted to do, but yeah, it is difficult like planning a whole shoot. Like pretty much I became the director. I'm
Yes.
like, wow, this is a lot of responsibility. Yeah, so there I think when it all came together, I don't think my vision completely came together.
Yeah.
But
What was
yeah,
the most challenging part? Like, I know it didn't. You're right. I agree. I know you're talented as hell. I know you had a good model. Everything was going on, but it was just you got to get the theme together. So would you have said maybe practice more beforehand, or really have a set theme, or did you feel like the pressure got to you? Was it the timing? What happened? What happened for you?
uh, for me personally, I think maybe I didn't know exactly that it was like a timed competition or anything like
It
that.
is very much time, buddy.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And especially like someone like me, I'm still fairly new in the industry.
Yes.
So, I like to perfect things and that takes me a while. So when I heard you have an hour and a half to complete this challenge or like the color portion or an hour to do
Right.
whatever the timing
Final.
was.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that kind of sort of freaked me out. I think I did the best that I could, but I didn't go in knowing like we had a limited amount of time.
Yeah. Were you on the pre-interview? Like, in other words, I had a pre-meeting for the show, and I went over that very thoroughly. Were you missed that, or were you on that? I don't remember.
I don't think I ever got that.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think you were something you couldn't show up, and then so yeah, it's really important to have a theme and to realize it's a timed event because you could be the best hairdresser in the world, but if you go in there unexpected and all the pressure and everything's on you, it's tough, right?
yeah. I think especially being I'm a big planner. I like to plan everything, every little detail. Like when we go on trips, like I'm always the one planning everything. So like I was just taking it as I got information from you guys,
Sure.
which was great. But maybe I should have took a step forward and be like, hey, like, can I know a little bit more about the show? But
Yeah.
it was
No,
okay.
we had a meeting, and I don't think you showed up, unfortunately, which I can't help. But yeah, we went over every single detail of the show beforehand, and we talked about the timing. What you could have asked questions and whatnot. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, but it was a lot for you. I know when you came and sat down just in the pre-interview. Remember, we were sitting there with the camera at first.
Yeah.
You kind of like were like, right? Remember?
Yeah, that took me like I remember just like talking about like myself, like which is the easiest thing to anyone for anyone to do.
Sure.
But I think that took us like what 3, 4, 5 takes, maybe
Yeah, it
more.
did. It did. But you did. When you see the show, you're gonna love it. It turned out really great. And I
I
even
did
told
see
you
the
guys,
preview. I was like, wow, they didn't make me look as like freaked out
no, you
in
look
that moment.
awesome. Like when you
Yeah.
see the show, you'll go, "Oh my gosh, I look great. You did a great job, buddy." But I know
Um,
there was a lot of stress there for you, and I really
yeah.
appreciate the fact that you hung in there and you did it. And
It was
it was wonderful. So,
yeah.
okay, so that being said, what would you have done differently?
Um, I think I would have done a lot of things differently, actually. I don't know. I think as far as like maybe like coloring goes, like talking about that,
Yeah.
I had an ideal client and I think I did something generally pretty simple on her.
Yes.
But I think I might have overcomplicated it, which kind of tends to happen when there's pressure.
Yes.
To make a long story short, I do recall lifting her to like a sort of red tone. And I think my issue was I overlifted her because I lightened her, whereas I could have probably, and she had virgin hair, whereas I could have probably just lifted her with color itself in foils, especially with a allotted amount of time. So I think I would definitely change that. Um, and I think maybe I would have concentrated a little bit more on like how to connect her style and understanding what you guys were looking for, and like her theme clothes and
Yeah.
everything. Making the look a little more cohesive.
And I think, the other thing that was tough with her, she's really pretty. She was really pretty. But then with the makeup and the look you did, it seemed like she almost didn't feel comfortable with it. Did you feel that as well? Like when she was
I,
doing the photo shoot? Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like she needed a little extra guidance with it,
Yes.
um, which is what I'm there for. But
Right.
yeah,
Right.
I think I just a lot was going through my mind to try to help her pick up her slack a little bit,
Yes, I know.
which he was amazing. But
She was.
yeah,
Well, what to me, this is just me, and I don't know if it's great we're talking about this. I felt like, you took her hair up. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. The look to me was better when it was down for me personally, but I'm not a judge. So, but do you feel like if you would have worked something maybe to show off that color a little more, and then maybe the way you did her lip, remember the small lip? It
Yeah.
like she has really nice lips, and it was like that kind of distracted from the overall final look. What's your opinion on that?
Um, I agree. Although it was like a free range of like what we were going to style her for, I
Hmm.
should have thought like obviously we did cut in color and we would kind of still want to show that off. So
Yeah,
whether I did put up all her hair, I could have still maybe had like a few pieces around her face hanging down to really show that
yeah.
color. Um,
And then
yeah,
once you overstyled the hair, remember, you couldn't do anything with it. Once you committed to it in the photo shoot, you were kind of locked in.
yeah. I was like, okay, well, I can't really. It's gonna look like antlers if I just took those pieces down or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what would you have done differently in that case? What do you think?
Um, I think I would have just given her a lot simpler style. Maybe gone with something a little more like boho. Something just
Yeah.
easy and simple. I think I just got a lot of ideas in my head in that moment. Yeah, I should have just kept it simple.
And that's where the pre-planning comes in, right? And having the concept.
Yes.
Because it's tough, man. Once you style that hair and you only have 10 minutes to do a photo shoot, you can't restyle it. That's what I was telling
Yeah.
everybody. Hey, make sure you guys, if you overstyle, you're done. And you had all those pins in the hair. Remember I said, ooh, buddy, I
Yeah.
don't know if that's gonna work out, but
Yeah.
I gotta let you go with your concept. So advice to somebody else in that case. What would you give for the people coming up with that, something like that?
Um, I think definitely if you're gonna plan a look, be open to kind of like merge like transforming that look in a different direction. I think it's good to have a concept like let's say I went with something a little more boho,
Yeah.
or even like something like in between boho and editorial. Just having different ranges and
Yeah.
looks because things can change. Maybe her color doesn't turn out exactly how you wanted, or her hair maybe because I've never worked on her hair doesn't style the way you were expecting.
Yeah.
After all, it is a challenge, so there has to be some sort of like leeway.
Yes, I agree. Well, I think that really, honestly, when I was watching the show, like before she had her makeup on and everything and all the styling, she looked really good. Do you know what I'm saying? It's almost like when you got her in that style, I don't know where it was going. Like, was it kind of like a futuristic look or, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what was in your head with that.
Yeah, I was going something a little more futuristic, kind of. And I was seeing the makeup, and we discussed makeup, and it was just like it was going in a very odd, and I thought in a good way.
Yeah.
And then I think I just kept piling up more and more. I was like, okay, let's do this, that. So I think I
Let's
could have
trade it.
drilled
Let's
it
do
in.
it. Right. I know. And then the problem was, I think, is that you were committed to that with all those pins and all that hairspray and all that makeup, and you couldn't do anything when you realized it didn't translate onto the camera like you wanted it to, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's, I think a word of advice might be don't overcommit. Commit, but don't overcommit, maybe.
Yes. I 100% agree.
Oh, good. Okay, good. Yeah, when you watch the show, you're going to see what I'm talking about. Absolutely. You're going to go. And I think when you went in there, you were in like good position from the technical aspect. You did really well technically, I think. I think where you lost it was in the final round. It just didn't translate. We had a beautiful model. The hair was pretty. It just didn't translate to the picture, right?
Yeah, I agree. I was happy with her haircut. I was happy with her color,
Yeah, me too.
especially with the amount of time that I had. Um, yeah, and then I think just putting it all together, which is why styling is so important.
Yeah.
I just didn't. It didn't show off anything that I did.
Yes. Well, how would you rate your overall experience as far as, you challenge yourself, you put yourself in an uncomfortable situation and you came through. How do you feel about it all now?
My overall general experience, I would say, would be like a good 10 out of 10. I definitely did enjoy it. I'm proud of myself being like putting myself in front of a camera
You too. That
for
was
once.
great job.
Yeah, I've just learned just be yourself, and yeah, it's cool. Just like seeing yourself in a different light, and like you judging yourself how
Yeah.
others might see you.
Yes. Do you think it's changed you at all as a hairdresser, like giving you more confidence, maybe push your limits a little bit?
Yeah, I think it definitely has. Yeah, as far as like building on social media, maybe being a little more like I'm usually like I said, I like to be behind cameras. I'm not like like look at me, like here I am. But like maybe on social media, like just showing my face a little bit more and just connecting your face to a brand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, because it's just like everybody does the same thing now. This is a chance to get out of the box and do something completely different, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the book's coming out. I don't know if you realize that, but there's a book. And
Oh
that
yes.
book, 30,000 of them. I know you proved your section. It looks good. 30,000 of those books are going to be given away to the top 30,000 salons in the United States. So basically, when they open that book, they're going to see your face. They're going to see your work. They're going to see your Instagram.
Oh wow.
In every top salon. So it's a big deal, buddy. I don't think you realized what this was all about, huh? When you were doing
I didn't. I don't know if this was in this pre-interview or not,
It
but like,
was.
that's a huge deal.
Yes, it's a huge deal. And that's why we have everybody known to man trying to be on the show for the next season. So I definitely recommend if they're trying to be on the show, they need to watch these interviews because it'll give them a clue on how to win and go all the way, right?
Yeah.
So any little last thing you'd like to say to anybody out there?
I would say definitely do your research.
Mm-hmm.
Study the shows, see what the judges are looking for, what's the downfalls of some people, and what's the pros, or what got people ahead.
Sure.
Yeah, I think, and yeah, just don't be nervous. I mean, it's
Yeah,
you and your craft.
Good luck on that one, right? Don't be nervous.
Yeah, I mean, it's just all fun.
It is fun.
Yeah, and it's you know how to do what you do best, and just own that.
Just do you. In other words, just do you, right? Yeah.
Correct.
Well,
Yeah.
we had a fun time. I mean, I got to tease you. I got to tease everybody. It was fun. We were breaking the tension. So, I mean, it got tense a couple times, but then I come in with some jokes and razz you or go over there and mess with you a little bit.
Yeah, no, you definitely made it a lot easier. I think being with you guys like for a little bit, I would say we've known each other maybe like 2 years.
Yeah, 2 years, yes.
Yeah, it was nice like actually getting to know you guys, and yeah, you guys definitely made the experience very comfortable.
Well, I'm glad you had a great experience, buddy, and I can't wait for people to check you out on. It's coming on the 18th again on CNBC on Saturday.
Okay.
And so 2:00 on the East Coast, right? And that's 11:00 here on the West Coast, and then in Hawaii it'll be on at 9:00 at the same time. So everybody gets a chance to see you on the big screen, And if you happen to be walking through the airport that day, you'll be able to see yourself on every screen in the airport because CNBC is broadcast in airports.
Oh, really?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
So you believe me, this is a big deal for you, buddy. I hope you really get a chance to look at it. And like I say, if you don't have the time to do it, now we're not working on Saturdays now, so you probably will.
Yeah.
Right after that airs, it goes directly on YouTube, and if you subscribe, it'll ping you, let you know that it's up, and you can watch it. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely have to check it out.
All right, buddy. Well, thank you so much, and it was great having you on the show.